The following is a review of the 7-inch 9-amp RIDGID tile saw or wet saw. I've used this tool for at least 6 years with professional use as a hard surface floor installer, tile and hardwood. Obviously just using this for tile, ceramic, porcelain, and natural stone. These pictures are taken right off of HomeDepot.com. This is the tool I purchased. I did not purchase the stand when I bought my wet saw. I simply used sawhorses, the ground, or a table as a base for my wet saw. I've seen guys use the back of their trucks. I would not suggest this because it spreads tile dust just like any other wet saw does. Overall review of the saw, I really like it. Easy to use, simple, and we'll get into some more of the features as we progress. Some things I really like about the saw is it is compact, it's small, it does bevel to a 45-degree angle, very simple to use. This is how it would look when you were cutting a tile, or when you would cut a tile. You can see on the left, top left, there's a red switch, on off, simple. Just below that there's a black plug. That is the plug that you connect your water pump into and plug into the outlet or receptacle as well, or extension cord. You have a simple sliding tray. Very easy to use. The tray locks in the forward and back position when transporting. On the bottom left, there's a black drain plug that you use to drain water when complete. I like the fact that the wet saw can do plunge cuts with a simple twist of a knob. You can lift the saw up, plunge cut, lock the saw back down. Very simple to use. Plunge cuts work great. I like this feature of the saw that it makes it simple to change the blade and also clean out the blade housing. That cover flips right open, makes it simple to clean and change out your blade. This system of rollers is 3 on each side for stability. If you have longer tiles, large format tiles like a 12 by 24, 6 by 36, something like that, 12 by 36, you're going to be pulling back further to cut this. I would not recommend this saw for large format tiles, although I've done several large format tile jobs with it. I've used this saw for some natural stone jobs. Works great. No issues with the cutting performance. The saw really works well with 12-inch by 12-inch and smaller tiles. This is just a small bathroom floor. Saw did great, no issues. And these were all jobs I've done in 2019 with the saw. So use extra caution and exercise precision with cutting large format tiles. The saw is not designed to be specifically used for large format tiles. Basically anything larger than 12 by 12, 12 by 15, 15 inches or larger. But you can use it with large format tiles. This job was completed this year. You just have to use some precision and exercise caution when cutting them. This was a 950 square foot 12 by 24 ceramic tile job. The saw was 6 years old at this point. No issues. I used one blade throughout the entire thing. Worked like a champ. So would I buy this saw again? Absolutely. Especially for 12 by 12 and smaller. I've already covered that point. This saw would also be great for the do-it-yourselfer or the handyman. If you do jobs infrequently, consider this. If you're doing large format tile on a weekly basis, I would recommend a larger saw. RIDGID makes a larger saw, as well as several other wet saws out there that I would recommend and use. Does the tool have the power? Can it complete the job? Yes, this tool has plenty of power. It rips through my 12 by 24 tiles without a problem, ceramic and porcelain. Like anything else, take your time, let the machine do the work. Don't rush these rips or these cuts. Just the same is true for any power tool. If you hear the motor starting to bog down, your blade is dull or you're cutting too fast. But the tool does have the power for the job. Is it easy to use? Absolutely. Very simple to set up. I prefer without the stand. I haven't used a stand. I use sawhorses or the ground as a base, so I can't talk for the stand, but the tile saw itself is essentially two parts. It's the water pan and then the saw with the frame. It comes right apart, easy to clean, easy to maintain. Yes, it's easy to use. Maintenance and upkeep. What is the maintenance and upkeep on the tool? Change your blade. This is all I have done besides normal cleaning. Like every other tool, respect it, take care of the tool, and it will take care of you. In the military, we always said, take care of your gear, and your gear will take care of you. Same is true for your tools. After every use, I always clean all of my tools, including my wet saws. Cleaning the wet saw. During big jobs, I flush the water through the pump and I replace the water into the bin, into the water tray, if my saw is going to be used the next day. Depending on the type of tile you're cutting and how many cuts you're making, it depends on how often you should change your water during a job. Natural tile or natural stone is going to be much more dirty than a porcelain or ceramic. It all depends on the material and the job. I don't use water after it sits overnight. Before I leave a job site, I will flush my pump and refill with water prior to starting the next day. Do not leave your pump sitting in tile dust water overnight or for several hours without being ran. This will damage your pump. Small day jobs and jobs with minimal cutting, obviously the water stays cleaner longer. You have to change it less. It's super easy to clean, but you will kick yourself for not changing your water, especially if you let it sit overnight. It's going to gunk up and tile dust gets hard and it destroys water pumps, it destroys tubings, and it can even damage a blade if it were to sit in that cover and cover that blade for a long period of time. Clean your tools. Simple. First picture, pump, that's your water pump. Clean that, flush it. And you can see where the water tray and the base or the frame of the saw separates. Easy to clean. Sponge and hose and water. Flush this pump with clean water after every use. What I do is I unplug it and I let it soak and run in a bucket of fresh water after the initial cleaning. I simply plug it into the extension cord and I just let the pump run for a minute or two in a half bucket of water, half 5-gallon bucket of water, and I just let it clean itself out. Maintain your tools. Also, that clear tubing will clog up. Keep it clean by flushing fresh water through it. Simple. Alright, the cover. Open this, flush it, dry it with a rag or sponge if you want to. You can let it air dry as well. Clean this tray as well. I use a nylon brush. I scrub it. Tile is sharp. Ceramic and porcelain tile is extremely sharp when it's in little pieces. This tray will collect little pieces. I would not suggest rubbing your hand over it. You will cut yourself. Flush it with water. Take a bucket of water, splash it on there, or take a garden hose, rinse it off, and use a nylon brush with a handle to clean it out. When you're flushing your pump, ensure there is clear water flowing through this tube on the back of the saw. You will see that clear water come through the tube and then it will come down the blade. Remove the water tray from the wet saw base and wash well. Yes, water sits between that pan and it sits between that frame. Clean that out and make sure that dries. It will rust. Wipe down all surfaces with the rag or sponge. Don't let nasty tile dust water sit on there. Clean it, wipe it, take care of it. And this is a nylon brush I was talking about before. I keep one of these in my tile bucket and I just simply use it to scrub my trowels. I use it to scrub my wet saw. I use it to scrub my tile tools. Very simple and easy. It makes cleaning much nicer. Save some money. Simply put, cleaning the wet saw will prolong the life and health of your tool. This can save you money with blade replacement, keeping your blade clean, keeping your blade housing clean, keeping your pump and your tubing clean. Easy. It'll save you money and time. Time is money. Tile dust settles. We talked about this. Tile dust is the enemy of moving parts in your saw, pump, and motor. Keep a fresh blade on your saw. When tile starts to chip or cutting is resisted, the blade is past due for replacement. If it's not cutting smooth and you're doing everything else correctly, replace the blade. Alright, would I buy or not buy the saw again? Yes, buy the tool. For the price, it's a great, incredible wet saw. If you're doing a job yourself, it may cost you less than renting a wet saw, which is usually $50 a day. I've seen some $70 a day. It's a great quality tool for the price. The saw is easy to transport with a small footprint. Buy the saw if space is limited for you. Make money on your saw, and I'll add one thing to saving money on your saw. If you get a military discount, which is 10%, you can use your military discount, sometimes even a veteran's discount, through Home Depot. Show your ID at the checkout, 10% off. Saves you money. Also, little known fact, when Menards does their 11% rebate sale, Home Depot will match it. Google Home Depot 11%, and you'll fill out a simple form. They will mail you in 2 to 3 weeks. They'll mail you a gift card. They match Menards 11% sale. So if they do it from Sunday to Sunday, let's just say the 5th through the 12th, if you make purchases at Home Depot during that time, you can get 11% back from Home Depot. Alright, so that's a way to make money when buying things. You get money back. One way I've earned money with the saw, besides tile jobs, is renting the saw out. I'll usually rent it out to a friend or family member for like $50 a week. This has earned me money on multiple occasions. It saves them money. It also allows me to make some money when my tile saw is not being used during other jobs. So that's something to consider as well, renting out your saw. Thank you. Like and subscribe for more review, tools, and trade videos.